here we are at Lords, the scene of the second Ashes Test match this year, and hopefully England are going to win the Ashes. Glenn McGrath would be there. I think I'd have to have Angus Fraser, just because. I think I'd have to have. I'd invite Strauss round for his intellectual conversation. I'd want to see what someone like Don Bradman had to say, I think. And also the fifth one would be Mark Waugh, maybe. I had one of his bats when I was younger, so I think Mark Waugh can come as well.
Excellent. Your favourite Ashes?
Lords. Probably Flintoff, the spell of bowling that he did here at Lords from the pavilion end in 2009 was one of the best spells of bowling I've seen. So yeah, I think I'd like it to have been me in that spell. I think the Adelaide Test match for me in Australia in 2010-11 is the most memorable, because that got us 1-0 up in the series, and I played a little bit of a part in winning that with a few wickets. So yeah, I think that's my favourite Ashes match. Alistair Cook's 235 was one of the best pieces of concentration and best pieces of batsmanship that I've seen ever, and to get us out of that situation in Brisbane was fantastic.
And the best bowler?
I think in general, the way that the guys bowled in those last two Test matches in Australia to close home that series is some of the best and most consistent bowling that I've seen from a seam bowler or a complete attack from England. So I think that those four guys that played in those last two Ashes series, in the last two Tests in Australia, was some of the best bowling I've ever seen. I remember when Siddle got his hat-trick at Brisbane, the panic or the rush that we had in the dressing room as the wickets were falling was a little bit memorable. And not panic, but more, having to get your pads on quite quickly from going and sitting watching it from getting your pads on was quite memorable. And the roars that you could hear of the crowd from the dressing room, it was like something I've never heard before. I think the sprinkler was an original dance, and I think they're still squabbling about who actually came up with it. But I think that the Graham Swan Paul Collingwood combination to create the sprinkler dance for that Ashes series in Australia was very memorable.